I'm driving the bus, and I have someone else navigating for me, and the person navigating is usually smarter and more experienced and knows it, but it's my call on where we go and which turns we make and what it looks like and what the ultimate, the decision, the final decisions is usually in my hands.
Of all of the stunts that you've done, I mean, we've got the backflip over Tower Bridge. In Las Vegas, we had the Arc de Triomphe, even the long ski jump. Is there any of them that you particularly think, yeah, that's the one where I really thought, I've done an amazing job here?
I think the jump on and off the Arc de Triomphe in Las Vegas was so like rattling for me as a human. And what it ultimately came to was that this is what I dreamed about doing my entire life. And if I didn't have the courage to follow through with this, then I'm just never going to know what my life could have been, you know? And so I'd always dreamt of this opportunity to be on a spectacle like Evel Knievel, you know? That's what I really dreamt of as a kid. I wanted to have an opportunity to do world-stopping stunt where the world's watching and be able to push through it. And now I had that opportunity. I had to decide whether I was going to let fear stop me, because a lot of the people involved with the production were like, this is so crazy, we can't believe you're doing it. And they would like reassure me, there's no one here from our department that's putting pressure on you. If you don't want to do this, we totally get it. You don't have to do this. And I was like, nah, I actually have to do this to answer my own question. And so that's what I realized through all my digging, was that this is more of like a question of myself. And now it's time for me to figure out if it's meant to be or not. And I had total faith and total belief that if it's meant to be, it'll be. And if it wasn't, well, then that was just how my life was meant to go. And I had total peace with that, you know. So I was really calm before I did the jump, knowing that, you know, I think the practical side of my head I had to turn off. So the fear side of things, I had to like just stop listening to it, because it was like driving me insane. And I was like sick before, like literally vomited, thinking about that kind of stuff. So eventually I got to the point where my own psychosis was like making me physically sick. So I had to just turn that off. So that made me that's where the meditating came in, because I had to like turn my mind off. And it's so freeing to like just not have this internal voice anymore, because I had it going on my whole life, and now I don't have it anymore. But it took me a long time to quiet my mind. It's like literally something you have to work at very hard. And then obviously when I landed and it pulled off, I was like, well, it was meant to be. You know, it's made. I think that was a prerequisite for my mentality, because then when I got on the motorcycle in the water, and I'm out at Chopu and the waves are 20-foot faces, and I'm like on a dirt bike in the water, I'm thinking, oh man, this is a stupid idea. And when that wave crashed down in front of me, that was this heaviest moment of my life. And it was 10 times, you know, and even when I jumped the Corinth Canal, you know, the fear of facing to jump the canal was worse than in Vegas. So Vegas was really, and then the jumps before, but everything's been a prerequisite to get me to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And whatever you do, whatever skill you want to harness, is when you sharpen a knife, you see it get sharper, and so it's nice to have a sharp knife.
It's very impressive. I will say, whenever I'm sat at the start line in my drift car about to compete, I'm like, I know how to do this. I know, you know what you're doing, you know which gears you're going in, and then like just like you said, that little voice like, yeah, but what if you spin? What if you don't downshift at that point? And I'm like, shut up, it's fine, everything's gonna be totally fine. You're famous for pushing boundaries and setting new records. So how are you refining your bikes to help you achieve these?
That's a tough question.
Ready for the next objective? Good to go.
Ultimately, I'm working towards my own goals. I think if I was invincible and I could be young forever, I'd probably still be...
We're keeping pace. The next event is just a few minutes away. A frantic race that goes from the coast to the countryside with an unmistakable Californian vibe.
Trying to jump further distance records with the bike the way it is, but for me there's one goal left for me, and that's all I'm working on. So I'm not here to replicate nothing, to do shows around the world. I think those days for me are gone. I just want to do my masterpiece, right? That's all I'm working on, is my masterpiece, and then I'm done. So I'm not really in it for the long haul, but I think manufacturers are doing a great job. The bikes are getting better every year. Obviously, we are on the brink of the electric era, and that's going to change the game for everyone, whether they like it or not. But I think the exciting side of it is the electric side of it brings a lot more power. It's instant, and the characteristics of the bike become a lot different. So we're already seeing like guys like Patrick Evans rides his bike, and when he does a whip, he's able to get on angles that we've never seen before.
Because of the weight, maybe, of the battery, or?
It's because there's less gyro with the engine, so it allows the bike to roll quicker. And then because there's no gearbox, and you're able to hit the throttle, and it does like the full rotation of the back wheel, so that when you start the throttle, you don't have to go through the gears to get the maximum RPM out of the back wheel. So with the twist of the throttle, that back wheel goes from stop to wide open in fifth gear in a few seconds in the electric version. So when you're able to, with the bike upside down, that inertia that the back wheel creates instantly creates that inertia. So you're able to kind of use that to twist your back into shape quickly. So Patrick's been able to learn better than anyone else so far to get his bike upside down and use that electric inertia that he's created from the rear wheel to set him straight again. So that's changing the game, and I think the incorporation of electric bikes is going to just make differences. But for what I've done, distance jumping, jumping on buildings, stuff like that, I don't know, I wanted to raise the bar to a certain height and then step out.
Your next car is one of the most recent entries when it comes to muscle cars. The 2020 Mustang Shelby GT500. Your opponents do not stand a chance.
And I feel like I've done that for the most part, and there's just one more masterpiece to hang on the wall, and I'm going to follow my kids around and do what they want to do. So it's, I just hope to be able to be an ambassador and support these other kids coming up. Part of my vision is to be able to support the Robbie Madisons of the future. And I don't really want it to be my kids, but it seems like they have their own ideas in mind, so I might be supporting them. But I just want to support athletes and help them create these moments that I've been lucky enough to have. The Rebel's been so great to me, like giving me these platforms to have these show-stopping moments. And so I want to be an advocate for that and try and help people create those scenarios for themselves.
Well, we talked a lot about dreams during our chat. Let's talk about dream vehicles. Now, my dream vehicle is a 66 Chevy Nova with a big block in it. I would love to be able to drive that down Pacific Coastal Highway and just live out my entire American car. If you ever seen the film Graffiti, that was what I grew up watching when I was a kid. So that's my dream vehicle. So let's imagine that it's your lucky day right now. You've got the choice of any bike that you could ride, and you get to take someone with you. What would you choose? Where would you go? And who would you take?
I want the fastest bike.
Talking MotoGP bikes or something?
Yeah. I want the a bike that I rode, but I didn't get to ride it too much. I was just I was Grand Marshal for Evel Knievel's 50th anniversary jump, and I got to ride the Triumph Rocket, and it's a 2,400 and something cc's, biggest engine they make on a motorcycle. I'd like to get that thing wide open. It seems so fast. If I was to be able to dream here for a second, I'd like something like that with an aero kit around it. So I'm not really a big fan of going fast and having the wind smash in your face. I like the wind going around you. So I really like riding the baggers, because the baggers have the whole big fairing at the front, and you got room to put your stuff in the bags, and you can kind of put supplies and food and drinks and whatever and go for a ride and have wet weather gear and warm gear, whatever it is. But I'd take my wife, obviously, and I'd go to somewhere private. I'd ride to a hot spring or to a waterfall.
Aside from motorbikes, motorcycles, have there been any other memorable vehicles that you've tried and tested?
Yeah, I always loved hydrofoils, I think they call it, like hovercrafts.
Mm-hmm. So they're really cool.
Yeah, I like them. Things that are amphibious just intrigue me, and I think that's why I was so stoked when I made the bike to be amphibious. It was like the coolest thing to be able to ride on the land and then ride onto the water and keep going. It was, it's still a trip to me now, but it was just one of the coolest things I've ever achieved, was to be able to have that realization. So a hovercraft, I just think that they are a badass. The planes that are amphibious, these planes that can land on water, I think that's so cool, to be able to kind of have the skids and touch down and land on the water and go fishing or swimming, and then just cruise off and land back at your airport. I think that's really cool. So I think an older version of me will be doing that one day.
I was going to say, that was my next question. I was like, are we going to see you in some sort of flying boat contraption later on in life?
Yeah, hopefully not too far down the road. Yeah, I'm almost finished with my pilot's license, so I just I've finished the written and everything. I just have to do the medical. So I just have to pass the medical, and then we're good. Work on that part.
So we're going to wind things down with a few rapid fire questions I ask all of the athletes. I want you to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Extreme cold or extreme heat?
Cold.
Riding by day versus riding by night?
Day.
The last time you received a speeding ticket?
That's my jam right here. A good old-fashioned off-the-grid competition and a mean muscle car to kick everyone's butt. Come on, dude, bring the thunder. My boys in the garage are gonna have a lot of work. Man, I love that song. Hey, where's my guitar? Find it, damn it. Bottom line is, with my cars and my songs, you're winning this thing, period. Driven from San Diego to Palm Springs. It's a beautiful scenic route. I'm getting kind of the same vibe from this ride. Kick-ass views and nice stretches of asphalt to let your mount run wild. The best things America can offer. Well done. They don't stand a chance.
Shame in trying again.
That's the power I'm talking about. Mustang Shelby GT500 is a bit on the modern side. Let me tell you, these cars have come a long way since their first appearance. Used to call them hot rods back in the 50s when greasers just started putting large displacement engines, called big blocks, in cheaper cars. The tech's evolved a great deal since then, but one thing is for sure, the same thrill that drove people to push boundaries back in the day is what's still driving us now. Across the That's it. The boys are back in town. Solid set. Keep playing this good and I might just become your roadie.
Back to the interview. It's all of the athletes. I want you to answer with the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Extreme cold or extreme heat?
Cold.
Riding by day versus riding by night?
Day.
The last time you received a speeding ticket?
Within the year.
You got the toughest cars, so let's take them to the toughest spots. Face to face with the island's guardian.
Within the year. Don't know what country. Australia.
Do you sometimes talk to your bikes?
Yes. Yeah, profanities.
Sand, tarmac, dirt, gravel, ice. What are your top three and why?
The right dirt, road, and gravel. I think dirt because the right dirt with the right water is just the best thing there is. When it's like, I ride the hills out here when it's dry, it's not that fun, but when it rains, it's the best.
I'm talking about Volcano, of course. Remember when I told you Jim would drive these cars on the moon if he could? Well, this is as close as it gets.
Best time ever. The road because, you know, it's just always good, especially when, or not always, but it's just a surface that I love. I love road bikes. If I had time again, I would have loved to go down that road. And then the gravel, I think gravel's just fun because you're sliding, you know, it's nice and loose. So I love being able to, you know, drift around on the bikes and or cars, whatever it is. So yeah, dirt, gravel, road, bike or car, I'll be happy in either or.
In your honest opinion, between rally, Formula One, and FMX, which is the most intense discipline, the one that brings the craziest sensations?
F1, it's crazy, right? First time in an F1 car, and I went down the straight, and I was like, there's no way we're getting around this corner, and we went right around it. I was in the two-seater one, so it was insane. So it gave me so much appreciation of the speed, the grip, and that. It's mind-blowing, but it's a hard question. I couldn't tell you. I'm just going to go with what I did the most. I'll say freestyle motocross. Just put one mark
in a
on the board.
nutshell.
Yeah.
FMX.
FMX, it's the gnarliest.
As you know, Motorfest, the podcast, is about the different motorsport disciplines that you can find in the new season 6 of the Crew Motorfest, be it off-road, flying, motorbiking, or GT. If you, for whatever reason, had to make a career change, which of these disciplines would you choose?
I drove flying.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
You're destined to be in the air.
Yeah, I really love it. That or rally, I love rally. I loved every time that I did rally. I felt I was good at it, but it's an expensive game. So it's yeah, couldn't make it work when I did have a shot at it. But it was I could drive the car at the right speed, but you know it's just when you crash those things.
Oh yeah,
It's expensive.
it's not like a game where you just go boop, restart.
Yeah, exactly.
thank you so much for joining me today.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I can't wait to explore some more.
All right, guys, that's it for today's episode of Motorfest, the podcast. Make sure you check us out on all streaming platforms. You can also see us on YouTube. Just type in my name, Becky Evans.
Once again, a Mustang GT specially tuned for off-roading is waiting for you. This car is your best chance to make it through that David versus Goliath kind of trial.
You can also listen to this podcast whilst you're playing the game, the Crew Motorfest. Make sure you join us for all future episodes, and I will see you guys super duper soon. Bye.
There's been time where I was working 12 to 14 hour days, 7 days a week, working 2 or 3 different jobs sometimes, just to pay for another hour of flying and another flying lesson. And yeah, it's been worth it.
Welcome back to Motorfest, the podcast. My name is Becky Evans, and this is a podcast brought to you by Red Bull and Ubisoft's iconic game, the Crew Motorfest. Now, in this podcast, this is where I get to talk to motorsport athletes about their passions for all things speed, wings, and wheels. And you know what the really cool thing
See it in the distance. It's waiting for you.
is? You can actually listen to this podcast whilst you're playing the game. So grab one of your dream vehicles, jump in, strap in, because you're about to hear from the athletes at. Let's get the show started. Now, today we've got a very, very special guest. We're going to be chatting to Luke Chapella. Luke is a multi-award-winning Red Bull Air Race winner, known for his precision, skill, and fearless flying. From winning the Challenger Cup to landing a plane on a helipad in Dubai, Luke is committed to pushing the boundaries of flying. Luke, we're delighted to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I'm just going to jump straight into it. I am terrified of flying. So when I knew I was going to be chatting to you, I was thinking this guy is going to have to tell me everything that gets him up in the morning and says, you know what, I'm going to do a loop in a plane.
Flying aerobatics gives you such a freedom. It's not every day that you can fly aircraft upside down, or you can fly it in reverse, like at 60 kilometers per hour. All the G-forces that we experience, it's something that you cannot experience on the ground. That's right.
Mustang GT's just the right tool for the job. Check this out. Man, you're gonna have fun. Check out the mountain peak. Bumpy. Straight ahead, shoot for the stars. Hey, look at the stands on your left. Looks like you got some spectators. Let's give them their money's worth. Get ready to fly. That's right. that giant one more time. What a badass shot. I'm getting flashbacks of my drives through Arizona. Good bunch of volcanoes there, too. And long, winding roads that disappear into the horizon. On the descent, but save some of your nitro for the jump. Now, thrusters on full. And we have liftoff. Time for the killing blow. Right on. Center stage, dude. Hit the lights. That's how you rock the house.
All right, let's keep talking.
Aircraft upside down, or you can fly it in reverse, like at 60 kilometers per hour. All the G-forces that we experience, it's something that you cannot experience on the ground. That's why I'm so happy to share it with other people.
Resuming progression on the playlist. I believe it is safe to say that so far this playlist is no picnic.
The taste of the freedom that we get. And
you may even think that we've already seen everything there is to see about muscle cars, and assume it can't get more intense than this. Well, hold on to that thought.
yeah, spread the joy of flying.
Now, I come from a drifting background, and I was around cars from a very, very young age. And it was actually my dad who sort of ignited that in me, because I remember seeing him playing with his race car in the garage. It was the same kind of for you, wasn't it? You went to an air show when you were a very small boy, and then that...
We're going for a ruthless showdown way above the speed limit and way beyond your expectations. Plus, it's a chance to see just how far muscle car customization can go and how cool it can look.
Was it?
Yeah, absolutely. My spark ignited when I was 6 years old. My dad took me to the air show in Poland, and it's just been amazing. You know, I was watching a robotic display, and the aircraft was doing a tail slide. It's a figure where you go vertically up, and it seems like you're shutting down the engine, and the aircraft starts to slide back on its tail. And I saw it as a 6-year-old kid, and I was like, Dad, I'm going to do it in the future.
trying again.
Curves are coming right off the bat. Eagle eye, and try to keep your machine under control.